Hey guys, Wolfie here and welcome back to the channel. As always, the usual disclaimer. Any opinion here is mine and mine alone. Now this is going to be a more fun video and it is the revelation of a secret build in the sense of the planning I have for it. Now, this particular build, again, it is a secret build. Now, the person that is getting it, I've known her. It is a female. I've known her for quite some time at work, where I work at. I mean, right now, in sense of like our positions of quote-unquote power, you know, she's in one position, I'm in another, but again, I've known her for a very long time, and I know she is recently married, but I was a bit of an idiot, and I never got her a wedding gift, so this is one of those wedding gifts that is a few years late, but, you know, the saying, late is better than not at all. So it's one of those ideas that's like, yeah. And again, it is a secret build. And believe it or not, she is aware that I'm building it for her. So it's like, that's that on that. So, the thing here I do want to bring up here with the case, or chassis, I should say, it is going to be something from the Rebuilding Odin mini-series. And the reason why I'm going to be using like the case I wanted to use is because I had a much better idea, you know, for the secret this upcoming secret build than you know, you get the drift. Now I'm going to go over the varying parts. You know, I'm going to include the case in this video so that way everybody is on the, let's see if I can get this to expand a little bit. So that way everybody is on the same page. Now this motherboard right here, it is Odin's original motherboard. Now you guys have to remember from a recent video, I had a power supply issue that, you know, that would not allow my computer to turn on. So once I get all the remaining parts, and if this is 100% working, this will be the motherboard right here, which is the ROG Strix X570E Gaming by Asus. Now, this is provided that the motherboard is in working order. Now, if for some reason the motherboard is not working, I will be getting myself another X570 motherboard, so that way I don't have to fret over certain other components, if that makes any sense. So for right now, this particular component is a tentative, because that way I can figure out like a plan B if I need to go there. I'm hoping I don't have to. Now for memory, I am going with the Corsair Vengeance LPX series. This is DDR4. This is going to be the 32GB RAM kit I'm going to be using for the secret build. Now the reason why I'm going with this one is going to be the cooler that I'm going to be attaching with it. So it's one of those, it's like, sometimes you have to go with like RAM that's low profile, especially if your cooler is also going to be at low profile. And for the record, it is, you can probably tell by now, it is going to be an AMD build. Just a little bit of a heads up in that regard. But I am going with a low profile RAM for the memory. Now regarding the fans for the secret build, I am going to go with 6 of these. I don't know if it's going to be this exact type of fan, but it is going to be the Lian Li Uni family. I'm going to be buying a grand total of 6 of these type of fans, where it's going to be a 360 at the front, 240 at the top, and then 120 at the rear. So it's going to be a 100% air-cooled build. I'm going to reveal certain aspects of that a little bit later in this video, but I am going to go with the Lian Li Uni SL120 family fans. Now, with this particular build, I do want to reveal that I'm keeping the RGB in the build as minimal as possible. I'm going to restrict it to just the fans. Again, it's because, you know, with the case itself, it's like you really don't have a whole lot of room to work with in the sense of RGB without worrying, you know, like, is this going to fit? Is that going to fit? So on and so forth. But I am going to go with the Lee family of, like, case fans, and I'm going to go with two of the 3 packs of the SL120 family, so it's like a bit of a heads up in that regard. Now for storage. Now, although the image you see here is a singular 2 terabyte NVMe, I'm actually going to go with 2 of these. So it's going to be a grand total of 4 terabytes of storage. And that's just me. That's just how I am. I just don't like, when it comes to like the motherboard, I just don't like having a NVMe slot empty. So that's that on that. So it's going to be a grand total of 4 terabytes of storage, and it's going to be 2 of these. Now for the power supply, I am going to go with, unless something changes on my end, it's going to be the EVGA Supernova P6 850 watt power supply. It is a 80 plus platinum, fully modular. So this is going to be one of those builds where the overall aspects of the cabling is going to be as minimalistic as possible, in the sense of like, I'm not using as many like power supply cables as I usually would in my personal builds. Now, I do have a bit of a convention on this particular aspect, is that when it comes to some of the specs of this secret build, it's going to be a combination of both Deadpool and Raiden. Raiden being my gaming only build, and then Deadpool is like the backup to Odin. Now, the reason why I say this combination of those two is that with some, it's like the varying specs, meaning that it's got certain aspects of Deadpool, and then you also have certain aspects of Raiden, that sort of thing. Now, before I go any further, I do want to mention that I made some orders from the Best Buy website, not only for my graphics card, I don't always say my graphics card, but for the graphics card for this particular build. I also ordered the graphics card you see here from the Best Buy website. I am going to have to pick it up on Tuesday. It is the NVIDIA RTX 3060 Ti Founders Edition. Now, the reason why I'm going with this particular graphics card is, believe it or not, the chassis. When it comes to certain chassis, you don't have a whole lot of room to work with regarding what graphics cards are good for the build, for that chassis, which ones you might as well scrap or get a larger chassis. But it is going to be the NVIDIA RTX 3060 Ti Founders Edition. And again, I will need to pick this up at Best Buy in person before I head to work on Tuesday. So, with that, and then also another thing I ordered from Best Buy, I should be getting it Friday, it is going to be the memory. Now, if you're talking about the exact CPU that I'm going to be using for the secret build, now I did mention it's going to be an all-air cooler. Now, I am going to go with the Ryzen 750-800X CPU. Now, the reason why I'm going with this as opposed to like maybe 5900 is because with the 5800, you can get away with using an air cooler for it. Because if you're looking at the 5900, you're not going to be able to get with the air cooler without the CPU itself overheating. So I'm going to go with the highest one I can get away with using an air cooler. Now, for the cooler, this is why, like I said a little bit ago, this secret build is going to have a combination of aspects from both Deadpool and Raiden. Now, this is the aspect from Deadpool that I'm copying, and that is the CPU cooler. This here is a low profile, no RGB, and it is none other than the Scythe, or Scythe, however you pronounce it, Big Shuriken 3. Now, the reason why I'm going with this as the CPU cooler, again, it is low profile, and you can get away with using this on the 5800X. And again, this is the same exact cooler I have on Deadpool. I have not gotten a singular issue. And the only difference between this particular one for the upcoming secret build and this for Deadpool is that I actually did a spray paint job on the CPU cooler for Deadpool. And yes, you can spray paint the fan on your CPU coolers. You can actually get it done. Take it from me. But yeah, so for this particular cooler, I will not do any lick of spray painting here. I'm going to leave it as it is. And I do want to mention here on a side note, I am waiting for a sticker to come in from a vendor on eBay. It is going to go with the theme of the build. And believe it or not, the build the theme is going to be based on the Marvel character Black Panther. That's her favorite Marvel character, so that's it on that. And then just a recap on the chassis itself. This is the Asus Tough Gaming GT301. It is a compact case. This is the reason why you have to be extremely careful with the components you get for this case, because a lot of things won't work. Certain others will be like too tight of a squeeze. So, on that note, let me grab the time here. So I do need to get going because I do need to get ready for work. So with that, I'm done with this video. So with Wolvie here signing off, I will catch you all on the flip side.